news feed, of course, brought to you by Whole Whale, a B Corp digital agency. My name is George Weiner. I'm the chief whaler, and we have Nick Azulay, the digital strategist over at Whole Whale, who is also an expert at explaining what's going on in the news. This week, I think we can jump right into it. I'm particularly proud of this title, Nonprofit Gets Their Feet Wet with Jesus-themed Super Bowl spots. Nick, what did we see during the Super Bowl for these ads?
George, you love a punny headline, and that takes us into our first story, which is that a somewhat unusual 60-second ad spot and an additional 15-second spot for the ad campaign, quote, "He Gets Us," made a stir for being among the largest ad buys by a registered charity. If you don't remember, the ads featured images of people washing feet of others within diverse communities, experiences, and circumstances, and closed with an acknowledgement of the fact that Jesus himself was non-discriminatory in his feet washing. Of course, a campaign for proselytizing the good deeds of Jesus. Interestingly, the nonprofit behind the campaign is named Come Near, which is an organization formerly named Servant Foundation and had previously run ads in 2023, but have rebranded under new leadership. This was kind of opaque to folks watching the Super Bowl, and you're like, all right, Jesus washing feet. Okay, we're going to do that for 60 seconds. It was kind of an interesting one and prompted some investigation. But an interesting kind of tidbit is that ad spots for the Super Bowl this year cost approximately $7 million for 30 seconds of airtime. So ostensibly, this organization was paying tens of millions of dollars for these ad spots. Who is funding this? It's a little bit opaque. The organization has been criticized for loose ties with religious right Hobby Lobby founder David Green, though the campaign on its website states that Jesus loves gay people and Jesus loves trans people, so it's unclear specifically what the position is on some of those social issues are within religious debates. But George, this was kind of an interesting one, and I think we wanted to talk about it because it brings to the center something that, again, is known but not frequently discussed. Religious organizations make up some of the largest charitable organizations in the United States, account for a significant portion of charitable giving, and here we have a high-profile example of a religious affiliated charity spending big on the biggest game of the year.
I think I look to a macro trend that it seems like, why would a general, Jesus loved us, loves everyone type of messaging, which actually on the surface is very, inviting. It's inclusive. It's kind of like a big tent. I think this is part of the realization that is expressed in these Pew Research studies with regard to the rise of religious nuns. Not nuns as in the church, but as in I am not affiliated when asked about my religious affiliation. And those numbers, and we'll show you charts, but there is a significant decrease in people identifying with Christianity. And that is down to 63% in the last survey. And religious nuns has risen to 29%. And like, if you look just back to 1992, when those surveys were being done, a religiously unaffiliated survey respondents were saying, in the under 10%, and you had around 90% for people identifying with Christianity. So that shift is something I think that is alarming to many people in and working in religion. So I think this Super Bowl ad, I think by the numbers, since it's 7 million for every 30 seconds. So back of a napkin, they spend at least 17 million on just the spots, is an attempt to try to counteract that trend. The Super Bowl was the largest watched Super Bowl in history. So they got a lot of viewers. And, I'm kind of curious if any of this extreme advertising spend results in any shifts in these Pew religious affiliation survey results.
Yeah, George, I think that's exactly right. We've been following those Pew numbers for a while. It'll be interesting to see how they shape up over the next couple of years.
Yeah, I will also say the foot washing landed a little weird with the internet. A lot of questioning folks about the confusion of this and sort of foot fetish commercial summaries that a lot of news outlets had and online communities have been having a bit of a laugh over. So, it's it's tough to find a message that's going to resonate with everyone, but it got people's attention. I'll say that.
That it did. That it did. I don't know. I'll just add that I'm happy the Chiefs won. I was rooting for Kelsey and Taylor.
Boo.
So.
Come on, Niners. Come on, Niners. Chiefs have won enough.
No, that's fair. Patrick Mahomes. He can't be stopped. And
Taylor
neither can
Swift
we.
Doesn't lose. She just doesn't lose.
No, she wins. She's a perpetual winner.